just to give a quick tip, what not to do is to really focus on your inhales. By, for example, taking deep sighs like this. In an attempt to get your air fully down, you can accidentally take a big chest breath, and breathing through your mouth and breathing fast in is actually more anxiety producing, or it can be. Instead, what I'll invite you to try now is to close your eyes. If you want, you can actually completely decide if you want them open or not. And just to kind of, get in the mood, you might recall a certain situation where you were a little bit nervous or anxious, and you can see the people there in the situation, some details, just to get a little bit of a sensation of that tension or whatever else it is that you feel when you're a little bit anxious. And then very simply, for just a minute or two, try and prolong your exhales and maybe empty yourself a little bit more fully. So you can, in your breathing, start to exhale a little bit deeper and have that moment where your lungs feel a bit more empty, and simply let fresh air stream in as you inhale. You can try and smooth out the quality of your exhale, and you don't have to use any excess force. Physiologically, when we inhale, that is when muscles are generally active for the breath. But now we're trying to reverse it. So try and be active on the exhale, actively exhaling, but not forcefully. And then a little bit more passively inhale, which is possible by emptying the lungs. Then just by relaxing, air will stream in. Give it around 5 more breaths. And if there's anywhere else you're tensing in your body as you're doing these exercises, please see if you can relax more. If you return to that place, that anxious place, in the face of it, whatever it is, remember that you can simply exhale a little bit deeper, a little bit longer. And let's take a quick break. You can just do nothing in particular. Breathe normally, free up your lungs. Notice the effect if you open your eyes. How does it feel like to look around? And how is it that you know how you're feeling? Where do you look to find that information? How do I feel? So the second technique that we can try is called the physiological sigh, S-I-G-H, sigh. I learned about it from Daniel Huberman, who has a podcast, and it's been studied, this breathing exercise. And the benefits of it is that it's kind of a real-time tool. So you don't have to, you don't have to go on a course, or you don't have to have let's say you don't have to learn it before it works. You just have to do it, and it works instantly. That's the idea. And just like we just did, the other exercise is the same. When you change your breathing, immediately your physiology will be affected. So the physiological sigh combines two things. On the inhale, it has two rhythms, kind of. So you just breathe in normally, and then you breathe in a little bit extra. So we could call that a double inhale, that you breathe in twice. Again, without using any force, but it will increase the pressure in your lungs a couple of times. So as you watch this, you can try it a couple of times. Regular old inhale, and then giving a little bit extra before letting go. And that extra inhale on the top, this little increase of pressure in your lungs, of air pressure in your lungs, this expands the alveoli, the tiny little bags kind of where air comes in and the exchange of blood gases happens. This increases your oxygenation. The second part of the exercise is the sighing part, where you, through your mouth, can exhale deeply, but not quickly. So slowly and smoothly. So the full exercise could look like this. Give it a couple of tries, maybe 3 to 5 rounds, and see the effects for yourself. You can have eyes open or eyes closed. One or two more times before we give it a rest. Letting go of the exercise. Sit for a couple of moments and notice the effects. It's a very powerful exercise, so very quickly you will feel differently, and there's no reason to overdo it. And while this exercise can be done in any situation, and that's what makes it very powerful, it's an efficient tool. You can do it with eyes open in most situations without people noticing even. You can, of course, also take it to the next level and use it lying down, covering your eyes. You know, you can add other elements, of course, to really decrease your stress response. If something triggers you and you're in a setting that allows that. But generally, it's an exercise you can bring with you anywhere. Now we're recording this live. Are there any questions from the group to what we've been through before we try a final round? Just if something comes up. Okay, so in the second round, consider if you want to change anything. Would you like to change your position? Would you like to lie down? Is there something else that comes to mind that would be interesting to try out in a final round of the physiological sigh? Let's go for 5 to 10 rounds and not more than 10. I guess not that more than that is unnecessary. And then we'll meet back when you have done it. So just repeating the important steps. There is a double inhale without forcing anything, and breathing in through your nose, which increases oxygenation. And exhaling through the mouth, or perhaps through the nose even, but you can go with the mouth for now. If it's somehow hard to keep on doing it, remember you can always take an extra breath and then go for the full physiological sigh. Couple more minutes, or couple more moments, sorry, to finish up. Before doing anything, please check in once again with how the exercise is affecting you. If you notice any changes in your mental state or in your pattern of muscular tension. And you might question yourself here before we wrap up. Is there any place in life, what context could this exercise be useful in? Where might you try and do this to benefit the situation? Or simply, where might it be useful to feel like you're feeling right now? Okay, so letting it go, and perhaps coming back to sitting if you're lying down or whatever. Finishing up, yeah, again, this is a real-time technique. I hope it's useful to you in some real life situation. It can also be a great part of a calming breathing practice. And what was I thinking? Yeah, remember the inhale is giving you that oxygen that your cells need, and the exhale is what is really associated with calming down, not the inhale. As we talked about in the video about breathing and the benefits of nasal breath or nose breathing, is that the inhale is linked neurologically to the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight and kind of stimulating, whereas your exhale is linked neurologically to the parasympathetic system and is stimulating of that rest and digest response. So all breathing techniques that focus more on the exhale tend to be more calming in that way. So on that note, I will stop the recording. Thanks for watching.